find a spot where you are comfortable. Just gently close your eyes and start to slow your breath just a bit. When we come to meditation, oftentimes there's been activity and busyness leading right up into the moment that we stop. And we either decide to meditate, or our alarm goes off and tells us that it's time, or our heart tells us we need to stop and do it. And so any of that busyness that's led you up to this moment, I want you to slow the breath down enough that you can let that busyness go. Find a gentle rhythm of the inhale to the exhale that feels good for you. Notice what's happening in your mind. For some of us, there's anticipation of the coming day, the coming minutes. For some, we're still kind of processing through yesterday and the days before. But what our meditation practice asks us to do is to try to find that sweet present moment in between those two things. There's still going to be some processing from yesterday and last week and all the stuff that's behind us. And naturally, there's always going to be some anticipation, some getting ready for all the hours that are still to come. But here, as we breathe and we pause, we find that sweet spot of the present moment right between those two. So maybe deepening the breath just a bit. Nice, slow, vibrant inhale. And a full release of your exhale. Just a couple more. And our focus of our inspirational time this morning is Yoga Sutra 1.2. Yoga Sita Vritti Nirodha. Yoga calms the fluctuations of my mind. Yoga stills the crazy big waves of my thoughts. Yoga lessens the agitations of my mind. And I could go on and on with different translations, but whatever works for you, I want you just to picture for this first, just a little bit, what would it look like as you look into your mind and you see these waves or you see these movements? What would it look like as you stand and you breathe and you fold and you balance and you lie still? All those things we associate with yoga, what would it look like if almost like a hand over those fluctuations, it all began to calm, to become still? Just see it. And then we're going to take our awareness from our mind to our heart, our spirit. And you can just stay seated or lying down where you are, or if you feel led to, you can put a hand on your heart and just feel right there in the center of your chest what it feels like. And so maybe it's not our physical yoga practice, maybe it's not the standing and the bending and the folding and the balancing that calms the fluctuations. But maybe someday we get to a spot where we are so self-aware, so connected to who we are, that right here in the center of our heart, we get this little prick, this little message that says, we need to slow down. We need to calm those waves. We need to lessen those agitations. We need to still those fluctuations. And when you start to catch a glimpse of this, you've truly experienced what yoga is. We often start with the physical part, and that is a beautiful place to be. But our goal as practitioners, as humans, is to get to the space where our self-awareness begins to inform what we do and how we act and how we think and when we pause. So if your hand is on your heart, you can just bring it back down, and we're going to sit for quiet time for just a bit. And I want you to notice what fluctuations try to come, because they will, because you are normal and you are human. Don't get frustrated if the thoughts try to carry you away, but rather gently bring yourself back to the space where you are. See that hand calming the waves. See the hand connecting to your heart, and then bring your attention back here. And then even after we've sat for just a bit and we've breathed, we've been present, you'll hear the chime, but just stay there. All the chime is a chance to come back to the space that we share together. So stay connected to your breath, stay comfortable where you are, and try to just be. Yoga, Sita, Vritti, Naroda. Yoga, Sita, Vritti, Naroda. Yoga, Sita, Vritti, Naroda. I want us just to validate the fact we are all human beings living in a busy, noisy world. And the fact that we have fluctuations and agitations in our mind does not mean there is anything we're doing wrong. But the fact that you are here means that you recognize that all the parts of yoga, the bending and the folding and the standing and the balancing, as well as that deep, intimate connection to you, it means that you realize there's something out there, a practice for you that can help you to manage and then eventually to truly quiet those fluctuations and those agitations. It starts off as this physical yoga practice for many, but then it comes to a space where you're so connected to your well-being, to those little bitty movements inside your spirit, that you can't help but pause and calm the fluctuations of your mind. Hang on to that in the coming days. Come back to it often. And start to notice how your life begins to look different. Your responses to things, your reactions to people. finding that sweet spot between what's already happened and what hasn't come yet, right here in this present moment. Namaste.